His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or certain condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong, and no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
I see in the next few months a nicer country, a very noisy country, rowdy country, a heavily divided country, a very tough economy, a sense of elitism by those who are coming at the hem of authority. The coming in of the Unity Party is going to multiply the economic woes, the economic conundrum, the economic quagmire, the suffering of the Liberian people is going to multiply. We are not prophets of doom, but the reality will come.
Mr. President, recently we witnessed the demolition of the CDC headquarters in Comot Town, which was carried out through a court order. How does the administration ensure that such enforcement action are done fairly and without political interference?
The law is the law. It's not the government. It's the government implementation of the law. The police were ordered to do it, and they did it. Is that demolition is removal of the people from premises that don't belong to them according to the law.
Why will George Weah, who is tempted by Joseph Boakai, who was drowning in his Egypt land, who was dead, very red up, dirty, stink, you could find him passing around, practically dead and useless. Why will such a man conduct make you Weah vex that you will struck the work and then lose God's own mission to take you to the promised land? That was the test of time today for George Weah. If George Weah had reacted, you are falling in the place of Moses.
The Liberia National Police commenced the Congress for Democratic Change for the discipline, calm, and statesmanship demonstrated during the recent eviction process. Their respect for the rule of law, despite the deep sentimental value and history attached to the property, reflects a maturity that strengthens Liberia's democracy. This movement is not only a testament to CDC's leadership, but also a reminder to all political institutions and citizens that our democracy grows stronger when lawful decisions are honored peacefully.
Today, you have a rebel police director who thinks that he has arrived. And the worst thing about all these people They all benefited from the magnanimity of George Weah. Ranging from people on the bench of the Supreme Court, they got letters from George Weah. If some of them choose to pay him back with evil, it's up to them. The very Gregory Comer today, he worked in the previous administration when Weah came. He also got another letter again. If he chooses to do what he's doing, it's up to him. But one thing I can tell you for sure is this is how we had always been molded. That's how God has already molded Weah and catapult him into success. He will suffer rejection, denigration, humiliation. That has been his life. How can you make somebody who has been down the line their shame? The person has gone through shame. They have gone through disgrace. They have done everything they cared. Whatever people thought and were laughing at them, they surmount everything and catapult themselves into becoming someone who is towering that the whole world can look at today. What more can you do? You think you're bringing that person down? You're just hurting yourself. In fact, what you are doing, you are destroying yourself. You know what it takes for you to proud in yourself of being bad? When people are looking for good image, you are happy in becoming a bad person. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
George Weah would never ever buy in to your tricks. He would never ever.
There's nothing this president cannot do to make sure that George Weah is out of the way so the United Party can continue to maintain the presidency. But I can tell you, this is a bad example.
You see that? You see that? They are shooting. You see that? You see that? You see what they do? You see what they do? You see what they do? Before we could become journalists today, we are citizens. If there is no way that our country is safe, we cannot practice in our respective professions. When we are at war, pastors will not be respected to go to church to preach. When we are at war, medical doctors will not be able to go to hospitals except on a coercion or sanitary condition. When we are at war, lawyers will not be able to go to court to practice. That's why when you see these things happening, whether you are a lawyer, whether you are working a profession, you got to step down and protect your country so that that country will provide an avenue for you to be the kind of person that you want to be. And that's where we are now. What happened on yesterday was wrong. It's still wrong. And no matter what it is wrong. We are seeing things happening in this country, and people are now seeing it as being right because the Asa is there. And these are things that we got to be stand up. To be a patriot, you have to stand first on the side of the law, because the politicians will go away. The regime will pass away, but your country will stay. The law will stay. Your patriotism vow will continue to stay on. And these are things that we got to stand up for. It doesn't matter how people feel, what kind of side you want to be on. We just got to speak to the truth, and that is very much important.
His Excellency, George Weah, President of Liberia. Our board noted that His Excellency's victory as the African Political Leader of the Year 2023 is a testament to his contributions to promoting peace, African culture and development, youth and sports development, and advancing Africa's agenda globally. It is also a recognition of his critical role in the infrastructural and socio-economic development of his country, as well as his people-friendly policies. He has continued to advocate for peace and free and fair elections in the ECOWAS sub-region, and this was demonstrated by a show of statesmanship and iconic posturing by accepting electoral loss and congratulating the winner. While he arguably had options as a sitting president, he chose the path of honor, peace, and the defense of democracy. His emergence reaffirms our position that he has remained one of the continent's leading light, as he had continued to demonstrate great faith in the African project, promoting African dignity and helping to change the negative narratives about the continent.
Can get started without acknowledging God, the Creator, who is sustaining us day and night, the God who hovers Kings 88.5 institutionally, the God who hovers and guides every member making up Kings 88.5 family individually. We are grateful. He is the good God, faithful in all of his ways, never reneging on his promises, but fulfills every word that he uttered in the fullness of his time for our benefit. What the God he is. We acknowledge him. And thank you, too, for coming on. You are so good, so massive, so extraordinary people. Great supporters, great followers. Thank you all for coming on, wherever you are following from, wherever you are listening from around the world. In Liberia, we appreciate you. It's another day. Let's have a wonderful time together, as we have always had. Good partnership, great relationship. Fifth Kelvin Bappin, Nema United, Bappin Paul Lee, Johnsonville, Roland Fraser, ELWA Junction, Jackson Webb, Jeremiah Labla, Soul Clinic, Gaza, Musa A. Sharif, Congo Town, Vinicius Bay Junior, New Crew Town, Claude de Paul, Juju One-Way. Your birthday is today. Say happy birthday. That's great. Good that you are celebrating your birthday. What a milestone it is. We wish you God's blessings and every other thing that goes with birthday. Juju One-Way. Saturday, Woodaway. Atlanta, Georgia, USA, Fatu Conan, Mangibi County, Henry Tito Jr., Caldwell, Philip Nangbe, Dallas, Texas, Ezekiel Johnson, Chicken Soup Factory, Lape Jerry Jr., Calcutta City, Jeff Comote, Emmanuel Bro, Minnesota, USA,
Grace Cooper, Jukon Tichien, Business Center, Usman Saul, Business Center, Gale Street, Joan Mamalu, your Business Center, same place, Gale Street, Bowula, James, Pennsylvania, USA, McDowey, Colahun District, Lofa County, Yellow One Home, Spencer Mohammed, good. Jukon, there's Jumukoli from your residence. Gabriel Lawson, Iron Factory, Broad Street, your business center, Michael Deal, Minnesota, USA. Rita Christine Hayes, Massachusetts, USA. Rita Jikla, your business center, Patricia Zia, your office. My dear sister, Orita Sonaway Choir, good to have you on. Welcome. Hope that you are faring well. The chairman himself is on. Roman Rico, Kenny Boy, Latupan for short, the reference point chairman, the down to earth chairman, the common citizen chairman, the one and only chairman for life, Block Titan Intellectual Center, District Titan. Thank you all for coming on. Can bring on everybody, but you are on because the names are running down like water running down the hill. Let's go out of Liberia briefly, just so you know what unfolded at the Capitol building today. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf lecture. But why was she there? Disagreement among some of the lawmakers. Condition was set. Well, we will bring you a real understanding from our news director, Shimon Dio, who got an invitation to form part of the ceremony and got a real first-hand version, and you will tell and figure out why the former president was invited. By whom did they? Well, let's hold on to that until our director of news, Shimon Dio, is in to give us a clear picture of what unfolded today. But this is what I want you to get. Did you watch the former president's countenance? She wasn't entirely happy. It's just like somebody saying, oh, look, come on, do this, man. We want you to do this. Say, okay, I will try. Hold on to that. And other issues we will look at. Real talk. We go real. But let's go real out of Liberia briefly. Nigeria has suspended all Christian pilgrimages to Israel and the Israeli-occupied West Bank due to rising security concerns linked to the escalating conflict in the Middle East. The Nigerian Christian Pilgrim Commission said the decision was taken to protect the safety of Nigerian pilgrims. The suspension applies to both government-organized and private pilgrimage trips and will remain in place until the situation becomes stable. Every year, thousands of Nigerian Christians travel to biblical sites such as Jerusalem, Bethlehem, and Nazareth. These pilgrimages are an important part of Nigeria's religious calendar, with many believers saving for years to make the journey. The United States Embassy in Ghana has opened more than 2,000 visa appointment slots over the next 2 weeks for people applying for B1 and B2 visas, offering a significant opportunity for travelers planning visits to the United States in the near future. The newly available appointments are aimed at individuals intending to travel for business engagements, family visits, tourism, and major international events, including the forthcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup, which is set to be hosted across North America. In a statement, the embassy also advised applicants who already have appointments scheduled for later in the year to consider rescheduling to an earlier date. The move is aimed at reducing visa backlogs, and helping travelers with urgent plans secure interviews sooner. Somalia has approved a new constitution that will allow citizens to directly elect members of parliament for the first time in the country's years of existence. Previously, clan elders selected lawmakers who then chose the president. Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barry called the move a historic victory, though opposition groups boycotted the vote. President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud has supported the changes, but the amendments also extend to his term by 1 year, meaning the elections may not happen for at least 12 months. Despite the new development, there are also doubts about whether Somalia can organize nationwide elections due to the Al-Shabaab insurgency, weak infrastructure, and political tensions with some regions. And Rwanda's cabinet has approved the parole of 1,847 incarcerated people, allowing them to leave prison before completing their full sentences on the condition of good behavior. Under the law, prisoners sentenced to up to 5 years can apply for parole after serving at least 1/4 of their sentence, while those with longer sentences must serve at least 1/3. Prisoners serving life sentences become eligible after 15 years. However, parole can be revoked if a person commits another crime, seriously misbehaves, or breaks the conditions of release. If this happens, they must return to prison to serve the remaining sentence, which may also be added to any new punishment. Those are some of the developments unfolding out of Liberia. Let's turn to what we've got. We start with the legislature, specifically the House of Representatives. Former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, as you are aware, dominated the media prior to today that she was going to the legislature. It took people by surprise when it came out, because our country normally we know the president to deliver the State of a Nation address, Independence Day address, and other significant dates, but not normally that a legislature would just invite. Sometimes if you saw that, it means a foreign president is in the country, and then the opportunity is afforded that foreign president to address the legislature. So it became an unprecedented situation. It was a surprise to many people. However, the event unfolded today, but not without some surprises and misgiving. To get a full understanding of that, I asked our director of news to come in. He got a real understanding of the situation, having formed part of such a unique historic ceremony, and he consented. He joins me now in studio. Good afternoon, Shemondia, and it's good that you are with us to give us an understanding, as well as your audience, what unfolded today at the House of Representatives.
Thank you so much, Sam. And I'd like to say thanks to the many listeners out there. As you rightly place it, today the former president did honor the invitation extended her by the House of Representatives. Maybe I could synchronize that to the source it came from. As far as we are concerned, the communication came from the Speaker, Rachel Cohn, to the former president requesting that she become their guest lecturer on key national issues like she propounded today. She talked about 5 different main issues, and some of those issues had to do with recommending a reform to the part of the Constitution that talks about who can be a citizen of Liberia, either a Negro or a Negro descent. And she said, though amendments were done on some of these things, but that part had been left out. So she thinks it's necessary that this 55th legislature take a keen look at that, to either create more room for people to be called Liberians too. Yeah. And she talked about the issue of land, conflict all over the place. She talked about political organization laws, and that part is what grabbed my attention for a little bit. I think I could just go over to some of those things as she said, basically just 1 minute. Okay, that was her fifth part, political organization. And she said laws on political party system need to be clarified and enforced, There should also talk about not to restrict our freedom. But when you talk about laws on political organization or political system of our country, being clarified and enforced, then it triggers a lot of questions, how is the current Liberian political system or climate, it's like, are we saying that there are some issues that must be addressed, other with these too many new political parties, probably because she talked about, looking at their financial strength and other things. Today, you look around, almost after every 3 months, you have a new political party being birthed. Yeah, she talked about that. And like I said, it raises a lot of concern. But back to, let's go and do a play-by-play stop. First,
she was invited, you said, by the speaker.
Yeah, of course.
Does the speaker have the right to invite unilaterally a person of whatever stature to address the full session of the House of Representatives?
So I might not be able to give a definite answer to that. But how did we get to know that the invitation was extended to the former president by the Speaker of the House of Representatives? It was during session today, and there are lawmakers in session who were asking, how did the former president come here? Did she write us or we wrote her?
That was the conversation before she started, before she was ushered in.
In fact, when she was in the house, not in section, but she was already in the house. And you could get to know that alone explained a lot of things, that the communication...
The bulk of them were not aware of her going there.
Yeah, the communication came from the speaker, but not the plenary. Because if the communication came from the plenary, that means all of the lawmakers who have been aware that the House has rated the former president to come and speak to us.
And it would have been debated on the floor.
Sure. It would have been debated. Now, there's another thing that stirred for almost 15 or 10 minutes was the issue when the movie said that the former president, after her deliberation, there will be no question posted. So, for example...
And there was no question at all?
No question posted.
So she was just called to do a simple lecture or to pass on a message?
In fact, I don't think the former president even considered that to be a lecture. I don't think she even considered that to be a lecture, because she said she just wanted to make a few points, right? She wanted to make a few points. She did not do it like an official speech. She had few things listed that she wanted to recommend to the legislators or legislature, like I said. So one of the things she recommended was this issue of the reform of the labyrinth naturalization law, then the issue of land, and then political organization. These were all recommendations that she put for. So, for example, if she had these things as recommendation, then I come to wonder if let's say the speaker will write the former president, invite her, then I don't understand on what basis did you invite her, because she had recommendation. For example, if I have recommendations, I should be able to reach out to you. I mean, this is the recommendation I have, and I want to pass it through you. You cannot be the one inviting me to serve as a guest lecturer, for example, if you are running an institution, not knowing I have a recommendation to make to you. So, I mean, it's a bit confusing. I don't know how it was actually arranged. The speaker who have had might have a better explanation of that, but it's confusing. You invite someone and they recommend.
I learned there was a little uproar or uneasiness with some of the lawmakers who argue that if former President Sirleaf was invited to speak to them, then that should be the normal. The next person should be former President George Weah.
Yes, so that was I would attend it. It was a motion. The motion was proffered, and that motion was accepted by plenary and what was endorsed by the leadership of the House. That since former President Ellen Johnson is being invited today, it's also important that other past presidents be invited. And one of those is former President George Weah. That was accepted. Well, now, this is it.
I want you to explain our acceptance before you go forward. Was it an acceptance by few or a unanimous vote, a unanimous acceptance?
So, if the body will take decision on any motion, that means it has to be accepted by majority of them. And so that was the case of the motion that was filed for the invitation of former President George Weah. It was unanimously accepted by those in section that former President Weah be invited. Okay, the question now is, how is it going to be done? Because what took former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf at the House today was a communication from the Speaker of the House of Representatives. So the invitation of former President George Weah, if that should be done, how is it going to be done? Because though that motion was accepted by the House, is it going to be followed up by a communication from the Speaker who is going to take the lead into that? These are concerns. Now, let me not say this, but I just have to say it. There were pocket discussion right after today's section about the invitation of former President George Weah, and other people who say, lawmakers who say, that was just done because probably those who are CDC lawmakers, to have given us a free atmosphere. But I want to also know the importance, of inviting former presidents. If you should invite former President George Weah to the House today, what are you inviting him for? To also speak any day to make recommendations? Is that what you're going to invite former President Weah for? So technically, if you look at it, to some extent, the invitation of the former president, her appearance was good. But what led to her appearance today, in my mind, wasn't properly organized. What do I mean? Is if it was properly organized, the body would have been fully informed to avoid people being in doubt. Because before the former president would enter the chamber, there were mixed views among lawmakers. That means everybody did not concord with what was being put on them. They wanted it to be, an interactive section, not knowing the arrangement only had that former President Ellen Johnson come, make her remarks, and then the speaker speak, they do photos, and they bestow upon her the honor or award, whatever they have for her today. But majority of the law, because they not know. So there were some glitches.
I want to believe 100%, even 500% what you've just explained, because right after the former president's address, the speaker read from his prepared text everything the former president talked about.
Sure, and that you could see lawmakers in section whispering to each other, because before the former president would even start.
So it looks like this is what these are the things I want you to talk about when you come in. So these are your talking points, and I have the same talking points. So we are on the same plane.
Yeah, it was an organized, or speech, probably something suggested by the speaker to the former president. You got to speak on this, or you write a speech, you send it to me, and then I do my accepted notes or whatever thing I should be able to do, leaving the rest of the legislators unaware as to how this whole thing was organized. What everybody knew was former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf is appearing at the House of Representatives today to serve as a guest lecturer.
They couldn't have discussed those pointers she shared with them all by themselves, other than former President Sirleaf. They did look at it from a status standpoint. As former president, she carries so much weight. When she speaks on these things, it's going to propel us or push us to get it going through, like the bill on not Negro descent. You think that's the reason, or one of the reasons?
To some extent, I think the former president's appearance served well for the country. Is a precedent in my mind that's been served. But who benefit more is the speaker. The speaker might have organized this on some kind of political stuff that a lot of people are not aware of, because many of the legislators were even made to know that the speaker or the leadership of the House did not even have idea on the topic that the former president was spoken on.
None of them knew.
So it became a concern that after the former president's speech and the speaker's speech coincided with points made by the former president.
So not a single representative had the slightest idea of what the former president was going to speak to them about.
No. What everybody knew from interactions before the former president who arrived in the chambers is that the former president is coming to lecture, and that's to serve as a guest lecturer.
But that was wrong. That is not leadership. He should have, as the speaker, along with his deputy, giving hint to the rest of the colleagues so that they will brace themselves for what the former president was going to tell them.
So another thing, I think he, like I said, he did it to have given himself a kind of political benefit, though in a holistic manner, it could benefit the country. How? Because having former leaders appearing before the House or shared, their expertise to give knowledge or to recommend certain things. It creates an open governance system. But you cannot do such and leaving the rest of the other people who are supposed to be aware of what is going to happen. And then you only sit there like, I don't know, not knowing you are fully aware of what is happening and you are the organizer of it. So that was the case of the speaker and that of members of the House of Representatives.
What did you sense from CDC lawmakers? I know that some of them weren't comfortable at all. They raised a concern. One of them, Representative Francis Foko. Let's have a listen.
Responsibility of Mr. Weah will be coming, the former president will be coming to the 55th National Legislature. It is a responsibility of the now Speaker, Bishop Speaker, and Quiet Director Thomas Fowler. It is their responsibility to exhibit the honorable leadership that will give the due respect to President Weah, just as we did today to Madam Sirleaf. Contrary to that, I mean, the speaker know what the consequences will be.
What it might be? What will it be?
Everything is legislative. Everything is legislative.
We have another confusion in front of us from the House of Representatives, given what Prince Afoko said.
So focal point wasn't actually, against the appearance of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. He was signing a caveat to the leadership of the House of Representatives. That same immunity that was given to former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf should be given if former President George Weah should be invited, as was accepted through a motion filed during the section. So you cannot, for example, create an easy environment for former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf and former President Weah to appear on the same platform, and then you are not providing that same, immunity for him. I think that was the background of Representative Foko, remarks, because we interviewed him. I was there when the interview was being conducted, yeah.
And dear, before you go, you want to give us and your audience a picture moving forward. How is it going to change the Liberian political space now that we have former President Sirleaf deliver her address, former President George Weah comes to deliver his address? If the House of Representatives would see the need to invite him, because these are experts and their opinions will have a significant impact. How, if it happens, to use your word from the onset, holistic, going to change the political culture of Liberia going forward?
In my mind, the invitation of former presidents, or if you extend it to former officials of government, will explain or draw a picture of what we called the legislature being a place, let's say the theater of politics. That means it should not only be restricted to members of the August body. You should also solicit the experience or expertise of former government officials, particularly people who play lead roles like president. And if, for example, a former speaker could also be invited to propound on certain things that the current legislature is not finding something around. So if this is done, one thing it will do is it going to present an open government, for the country. People could start getting confidence in the legislature, though there are still many questions about their operations. But if you, for example, former President Ellen Johnson appeared today, and you have in former President George Weah appearing tomorrow, their supporters will start to have that confidence in the legislature, because it's providing the platform for former officials and also serving as the real institution that would say a political theater. A political theater should not only be restricted to people who are elected for the period of 6 years. It should also bring on board people with expertise.
And it's going to, you see former President George Weah appearing, giving what they have. There's this indictment they have against him already, a fixed mindset that he damaged the country, he's not coming back to power, and those are statements of hate. Now, based on that, one would think that the House of Representatives, the speaker who is a regime speaker and who works at the whims and caprice of the president, will ever attempt to do that.
Now, then we have to go back to what Representative Foko said. If you listen to him, he might not have said it word for word. But if I should put into context, like I said, former President Ellen Johnson appearance today did not go with lawmaker asking questions. She did her presentation, and that was followed by an honor upon her by the leadership of the House. So if, for example, former President George Weah is invited, same immunity that was given former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf should be accorded him. Because
so my question is, do you see that happening, given the indictment that they've already have against former President George Weah, that they don't want to see him, the current government? This is a unity party government.
That it should happen because this is the precedence that's been set. With 100% what happened today with former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, it is a precedence. That means any other president who should be invited, that precedent that was set today should be served and followed during their appearance or invitation.
What honor did they confer on her?
That should be, let me see, a special, let me see, what is it? I want to be very exact. I've got that somewhere here. Just 1 minute, please. 1 minute, 1 minute. I'm getting older now. Sorry for the... I think it's just something. Let me try to get it quickly. Then
All right. Yeah. So what you're looking for that is, he is our director of News, Kings 88.5 director of news, Shemo Dia, who got an invitation to witness the ceremony today with former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, invited by the speaker. I'm quoting the director of news, the speaker. She was invited by the speaker, Richie Nangbe Kon, and not a general decision taken by the plenary. Plenary is the highest decision-making body. She was invited, according to him, by the speaker, the regime speaker, Richie Nangbe Kon. And most of the lawmakers have no idea, or all of the lawmakers had no idea what the former president was going there for. She just walked in like a visitor and giving her status, given that she served as president of Liberia, not to be very dismissive and disrespectful. The lawmakers allow her to move in to give her address.
Okay, so what was conferred on her today is a special legislative citation of distinguished honor. That's what they conferred on her today, the speaker, and yeah, that was actually the honor conferred upon the former president.
And this is a quiz for you before you go. You just don't know why they confer it on her. Can you say?
I don't know. I mean, and for example, if you should call like 2 or 3 lawmakers and you ask them now, why was this honor bestowed upon former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf? Well, I mean, I'm not speaking for them, but I really doubt them explaining to you why. Because though there's certain, you might not disclose all of the information, but what everybody thought today is the former president is appearing to lecture. Probably after her lecture, she go. It was almost at the end of the speaker's speech, his prepared speech, that he announced that an honor was being conferred upon the former president.
Again, his colleagues did not know about the honoring or the conferring?
So probably some knew, but not the entire building. Yeah, because mind you now, the house is still on that division. Yeah, since the impasse, that division has been there. Majority, and the majority block. Now it has been transformed into something else out of CDC and that of the ruling establishment, people who are aligning with the ruling party. So is there are some information maybe could be kept in the cycle of those who aligned with the ruling party. And to some extent, I don't think that is a good example of better governance or good governance or open governance system. Whatever is a legislative matter should be something that every lawmaker who still have years of, at the 55th legislature should be in the food, to exercise their responsibility for which they were elected by their people. But if it's being done in section, I say session, not the SESSION, but it's the SECTION. You can do a sessional stuff. It should be holistic. But in this, like those lawmakers that were raising concern as to how did the former president come, majority of them are those from the angle of the opposition, if quote unquote, if I can say it that way, basically other people who align with the government or the ruling party may not be aware, but will not be the one to raise the issue, because in Liberia, people can say you can dress the devil and then you bring it out so you undress it. That means everything should be kept in the Zobuch, which have not helped us for so many time now. So today appearance, maybe before I leave, was good, like I said, for the former president Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to have appeared and make key recommendations to the legislature to consider these things. But to some extent, there were doubts among other lawmakers that prove that it wasn't done holistically. The speaker might have done it, with some motive that could personally benefit him.
That they tried to get former President Sirleaf fully involved with them and their agenda.
Yeah, that's what I say. Personal, probably he's seeking personal benefit rather than, the benefit of everyone. But her appearance will serve a precedent that today, former President Ellen is not the only former president of Liberia. We have former President George Weah. If Taylor isn't in the Hague now, we're also going to be talking about Taylor, But since he's not around, what was accorded former President Ellen today should also be accorded former President George Weah. And if possible, extended to other key actors of government, former, to use that political theater and make key recommendations. Because at times, to tell you the truth, some people just go to session and they just cause nothing. They don't do anything good. So if you get good work to do, call people to share with you experience or make recommendations that will benefit our country, instead of just going to section like what is always done, you make fun and you don't really discuss the real issues.
Thank you ever so much for coming in, Shimon Dion, Director of News Kings 88.5, to give us a clear picture of what unfolded today. You were on the ground. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you very much.
So let's have representative. Let's listen to Representative Frank Safoko. Again, then we'll move on to something else.
Responsibility of this, Mr. Weah will be coming, the former president will be coming to the 55th National Legislature. It is a responsibility of the now Speaker, Bishop Speaker, and Quiet Director Thomas Fowler. It is a responsibility to exhibit the honorable leadership that will give the due respect to President Weah, just as we did today to Madam Sirleaf. Contrary to that, I mean, the speaker knows what the consequences will be.
What it might be? What will it be?
Everything is legislative. Everything is legislative. Responsibility of this. Mr. Weah will be coming, the former president will be coming to the 55th National Legislature. It is a responsibility of the now Speaker, Bishop Speaker, and Quiet Director Thomas Fowler. It is a responsibility to exhibit the honorable leadership that will give the due respect to President Weah, just as we did today to Madam Sirleaf. Contrary to that, I mean, the speaker knows what the consequences will be.
What it might be? What will it be?
Everything is legislative. Everything is legislative. Responsibility of this. Mr. Weah will be coming, the former president will be coming to the 55th National Legislature. It is a responsibility of the now Speaker, Bishop Speaker, and Quiet Director Thomas Fowler. It is a responsibility to exhibit the honorable leadership that will give the due respect to President Weah, just as we did today to Madam Sirleaf. Contrary to that, I mean, the speaker knows what the consequences will be.
What it might be? What will it be?
Everything is legislative. Everything is legislative.
Let's move away from the Capitol building issue, the House of Representatives specifically, to other issues unfolding. Buakai snub former Representative Solomon George. The president went to others. He went to other people to sympathize and empathize with them when he wasn't needed. He forced his presence. He showed up to show up. He went in person to several. Few of them, Joe Howard Taylor, and the most recent, the former law professor George, whose wife passed off, I think they say 104. He was there. He went prior to that. He went to other people, grieving family, to express his condolences, his supporter by expression. Solomon George. Solomon George was supporter of Unity Party by expression and not document. Have this in your back, in the back of your mind. You are part of an institution, a group, alliance, coalition, whatever, Susu Club, whatever, by documentation and expressing one's open support for that institution or person. Once it is verbal, it is openly expressed, it is sealed in covenant. Document is sealed. The late Solomon George was a supporter of Unity Party because he switched allegiance. He became the supporter of the rescue government. He was pushing the rescue government agenda, and he was definitive that former President George Weah would not come back to power. One, his reason that former President George Weah, in whose government he worked, served as representative for several years, sided with Unity Party's cliche that he messed the country up, hence that he, former President Weah, would never come back to power. That statement was a crossover to a Unity Party. When you speak for an institution or a person, having left where you were, you become a supporter of that person. You become a disciple, a crusader. So he was discipling for Unity Party, crusading for Unity Party, campaigning against anything former President George Weah to come back to the presidency. There's something I'm driving at, please. So his supporter by expression and not document, President Joseph Yuma Boakai refused to step foot at his residence because the late Solomon George was not an elite person, or the body, not an elite body. He refused. Listen carefully, and I will read a statement. Mr. President, who had always bragged reconciliation over dead body, refused to move with a reconciliation in person as he did in the past. He decided to speak with the late Representative Solomon George's son by telephone to express his condolences. He decided Oh, look, they call that Peking, they call that boy, that peasant, downtrodden. They call him to say sorry. We can't go at his house. His house isn't clean. It's filthy. Can't go there. It's not representative of the president's presence. That's the reason the president did not. Somebody who, since he left the House of Representatives, since he got defeated, turned to you and started supporting you for 2 years. 2 years, couple of months. That long time to get knitted together. He refused to go to that man's house because the man was living in West Point, the people in West Point and adjacent area of West Point. So the president took claim. His advisors told him, don't go there. Just take telephone, call his son. And that's what he did. In my opinion, that was wrong. It only shows that he, President Bouakai, and his unity party did not value the late Representative Solomon George support to them. If a person supports you for 1 hour is significant, 3 hours is far significant, least to talk about months, years. That when he passed, you wouldn't give that last respect. You know why? When a person dies, ceases from being human to dead, you go to the home, 2 things: to empathize, sympathize, console the bereaved family. Secondly, to say your last respect. That is why traditionally the bereaved feel relief, that comfort when you are at the house. Then you think your presence should be at the graveside or the funeral. Have you not heard people say, since my XYZ that you even go to the house? You even go to the house. I have heard that 1,000,000 times. You will not hear them say, you go to the funeral or you are not at the grave. You hear them say, you go to the house to sympathize. That the mean place there. But the man say West Point a dirty place. His advisor said, no, you can't go down there. So take telephone, we'll find the son number and we'll call the son. Then you can speak to him to express your condolence. That was not right on the part of the president's advisors who advised him to do that. They saw him, as far as I know, analyzing the situation over the hours. They saw the late Solomon George as forcing himself on them because he was out of job. If Solomon George was Unity Party supporter by document with them for years, you'll see, let someone who had been with Unity Party for several years with former President the current president in opposition, let any one of them pass, you'll see Bouakai going to that house. I bet you, put me to challenge. Let any of the Unity Party supporter pass off that being with Unity Party for years. Even if you hold key position, but you've been with Unity Party for years, you're supporting the government by document, or Joe Bouakai from opposition to the presidency. You'll hear the president. You'll hear executive mansion people. You'll hear the escort. Woo, 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 woo. You'll hear executive mansion bragging. The president going to pay or will be paying or visiting the bereaved family of so and so partisan or Unity Party who. We've seen the thing. They felt, oh, like that man. Solomon George forced himself on us. He wasn't a partisan. We talked about this thing before, yet the people not picking up logic in this country. A leader treats everyone with the same respect and honor. A leader, only a ruler will divide, will discriminate. A leader treats everybody, he sees everybody the same. That's the big difference between former President George Weah and current President Joseph Yema Boakai. This, I know for a fact, I'm not there with him, but I know because that is his nature, that former President Weah has resolved, has decided to attend the funeral of his former member. He defected from the party. Former President Weah respects everybody's right. Those who stay, he respects the right. Those who left, he respects the right. But he does not disconnect himself from you. I'm not close to him. I've not heard anything around there, but I'm just speaking his nature. Because he held nothing against Solomon George. He respected Solomon George's decision to leave. Solomon George was in the government. He was critical of the government. He was critical of former President Weah. Former President Weah respected him. As a matter of fact, they came a long way. They came a long way when former President Weah said to explain the history, how he and Solomon George, why they came. You say, oh, but the thing we need to take politics from it. Former President Weah, whether you char, you pass off, you will go to that funeral. Have you heard, have you seen former President Weah sending proxy or taking telephone to say sorry? You treat, that's how leader lives. You treat everybody the same, irrespective of status. It is about humanity. Now, let me go to the statement from the executive mansion to that. Then bring you the reaction of the son. Let's go to the statement from the executive mansion briefly so that you hear it. This is it, the statement from Honorable Ebiga call his excellency. Allah Ebiga call him our president, his excellency. Love Joe Boakai. Jojo. Yes, the statement, listen carefully. The caption, executive mansion caption. Caption means the first line that you put that explains your idea. President Boakai consoles family of fallen former legislator Solomon George. Wednesday, March 4th, 2026 was yesterday. Listen to the body. The president, President Joseph Yema Boakai Sr., has extended his deepest condolences to the family, loved ones, and constituents of former two-term Representative Solomon George of Montserrat County District 7 following his passing on Friday, February 27. Earlier today, that's the next paragraph. Earlier today, President Boakai held a telephone. President Boakai held a telephone conversation with the descendant's first son, Mr. Christopher Solomon George Jr., during which he conveyed heartfelt sympathy on behalf of himself and the government of Liberia. The rest of it for your reading. He extended by telephone his heartfelt condolences on behalf of himself and the government of Liberia. That no government official go there, nobody from the executive already did it on your behalf. can do that. Then his former party, and before I get into this, let me say, listen, there is nothing wrong with putting a political spin on this because there was a transition. Whichever way, however way, people have interpreted it, imputing political sentiment, it can help. No. When you switch allegiance, your former institution can only sympathize and empathize. If I leave King's FM and say something happened or I am no longer a human being, the people of King's FM will only recognize Dead Sam Andrews as former employee. The institution that Sam Andrew goes to becomes that institution for responsibility. Put literacy in your mind. Drop sentiment. I say this because the statement supposedly came. The statement supposedly came. I say supposedly because I did a couple of rounds and I see, but some people say that CDC statement. So literally, you want to leave room. You want to leave room to save yourself. So a statement supposedly coming from the Congress for Democratic Change. That statement, partisans of Unity Party, as they usually do, took hold of it and started imputing political sentiment into it with the understanding that they can further derail the Congress for Democratic Change. Unfortunately, they do not know how to play that politics. They often show their ineptitude. Here is the statement. March 4th, 2026, the caption, just like the executive mentioned, the CDC mourns the passing of former lawmaker Honorable George. The Congress for Democratic Change mourns the loss of Honorable Solomon Claudio George, who once fought as one of us. A two-time lawmaker who once carried the CDC hammer. Honorable George was more than a legislator. He was a forceful servant of his people, a warrior for social change, and a spokesman whose voice resonated powerfully in the halls of the 53rd and 54th legislatures and in the hearts of the citizens he loved. To the bereaved family, we say, look to the hills from which cometh your help. The Comforter, who is the God of all flesh, will envelop you in his peace that surpasses all understanding. To the good people of Montserrat County, especially in District Number 7, we share your collective loss. Honorable George was a blessed man who walked among you, and his legacy is etched in the memories that you all made together. This is the paragraph, the concluding paragraph that Unity Party people hung on and running with it all over the place as if CDC, one, in their reasoning wrong to have imputed politics. CDC killed the man, and on and on. Listen carefully, then we'll put that in context. You've already heard the beginning. Why he may have resigned, from the Congress for Democratic Change before his death. Our bond with him endure. It is said that immediately he left, it is said, please listen, well-structured, seasoned writer, no wrong here. CDC committed no wrong. But most of the Unity Party people have reasoning problem. It is said that immediately he left the Congress for Democratic Change, joined Joseph Boakai and Unity Party, and then suddenly died just few time afterward. It is gloomy that the moment he stepped out from the shadow of the oak of CDC, the storm of death arrived in the cycle of Boakai. We do not say this to cast stones. We say this with the heaviness of those who watched a former partisan wander, only to fall where he could not catch. We say, rest in the bosom of eternity. You have fought the good fight. You have finished your course. Go in peace. Randa Massacre W. Dete, Deputy Secretary General for Records and Research, Congress for Democratic Change. Their argument is why the party will insert in a statement the transition that he left CDC, joined Unity Party, he died. That one, CDC is happy. Two, that CDC put his death at Unity Party. The other argument was CDC killing. But there is nothing wrong with the last paragraph. Wasn't there a transition? There was a transition. Have you not gone to funerals? And you hear people say, oh, he was with this. He was with this institution. He resigned from this institution. He went to this place. He left and went. Hi, you cannot bury history that is already history. All of these things are part of the resume. Yes, he left the Congress for Democratic Change, went to Unity Party. Is that not true? Who was he supporting prior to his death? It wasn't the Congress for Democratic Change. It was Unity Party. And what wrong with the party admitting? Must the party, or should the party have hide that and say, yes, Solomon George was a good man, the normal flattery that people gave. He was a good man. He was a strong supporter of the Congress for Democratic Change. We miss him so much. Just tell the truth. Tell the truth. There's nothing wrong with that. There was a transition. People transition. Every day people transitioning. There's nothing wrong with admitting, because that is the reality. Who does not know? Even the unborn child knows that the late Solomon George left CDC. Why do you people, you are excited for the living? When a living announced that he has left the Congress for Democratic Change, you are excited and motivated and turn and lambasting the party and say the party does not have leadership. The party is not there. George Weah is not there. You are excited. But a living left the party and a living become a dead. So you vex. Why CDC should say that? You should be having a mental problem. That's mental problem. It wouldn't be. You wouldn't lambast CD. You wouldn't be critical when the living leaves, as we have seen in the past, those who left CDC, and you are excited, you motivated. But you put a political argument on this one, condemning CDC. CDC did no wrong in this statement. Sam Andrews could write a statement the same way and even add more information because that was available at the funeral, the tribute, or the life sketch. The life sketch. You don't know life sketch? Life sketch is all about the person's legacy. And you can go to funeral. They say in the life sketch, he was there, he was part of, he joined the Congress for Democratic Change from XYZ. He became representative from this time to this time. This time he left and he was a supporter of the unit, the rescue government. All the one part of your dead resume, the resume of the dead. So you drop that. And let me close on this one with this. Unity Party is noted for politicizing death. Unity Party is noted for politicizing death. They politicize the late former president, Samuel Kyan Dole's wife, Nancy Dole. They politicize the death of former Liberian who was in the office of former Minister Weah, Cletus Noah. They politicize his death. They now politicizing former Representative Solomon George's death to gain favor from the family. If the George family is not sensitive, they will be used by Unity Party like a pawn on a chessboard, as they did with the death of Nancy Dole by allowing her daughter to go against people. You saw how they let Nancy Dole's daughter into a political pawn that she did not know what to do. Everything she was saying, they were supporting it, but they were not telling her that some of these things are wrong. They will haunt you tomorrow. They were using her as a pawn to gain political relevance, as if you can get political relevance from dead. The same thing they are doing. They think that, oh yes, just as we were successful with Nancy Dole's daughter, she was all over the place, insulting people, saying this, saying that, and we made her to go and meet President Walker. We can do it to the son. So Solomon George's son. That's what they try to do. And it's wrong. Unity Party is noted for politicizing death. And when you continue this way, the day God gets ready, he will put death in your camp 3, 4, 5. And he will make people to politicize it. And listen, Unity Party is too weak. Do you know that they don't like anybody to politicize anything about them? They think they should be the ones. They are noted for politicizing death. What did they say? They said CDC killed Cletus Noah because Cletus Noah was a possible witness in the economic sabotage trial. That's what they said, which was not true at all. They made half the country to believe that Samuel Weah, they came out to say, they say Samuel Weah killed a man. What the next name? Eugene Nangwe. They brought in Eugene Nangwe's name. They said Eugene Nangwe and killed a man because he was a possible witness. One of those sayings or allegations came from Eugene Fagon. Eugene Fagon, consciously he has it, who supports Bouaka. He made it clear that the man was a possible witness that wanted to kill him. Whether you like it or not, not all Unity Party supporters. Not all Unity Party supporters will tread the route. There are decent Unity Party supporters, very refined, intelligent, human. They will not tread this. But there are some rotten, satanic, diabolical apples amongst them. If the former representative's son is not careful, Unity Party people will make him stupid in this town, just like they made the late Nesedo daughter stupid in this town. They will use him as a pawn on a chess board, just as they did with Nesedo daughter. When she realized it, what happened? She quietly left the country. They made her to say all kinds of things against former President George Weah. They made her to say all kinds of things against her very kinsman. When she said it was the senator Zopenon that killed her mother or her father, or her mother rather. She said Zopenon and the Zoes, they performed the witchcraft activity, her mother casket disappeared. They made her. They said, oh, look, madam, former President Weah, we ain't that man. So what we want you to do is, whatever we tell you, you must do. So the public will go against him the more. When he goes to sympathize with you, whatever he said to you, pretend that you accept it. When something comes out, capitalize on it, and whatever he will do, send it back at him. And that's what she was doing, and then they were praising her. They were praising her. Yeah, she was raising morale. At the close of the day, she was the most stupid person in the midst of everybody. Where is she today? She went by America and shut her mouth. Unity Party people, they make you to look stupid when you are not sensitive. When you present yourself as a stupid person, they capitalize on your stupidity and use you as a pawn on the chessboard. Look at Unity Party people. Again, not all. I'm not referring to all Unity Party people because they are decent, refined, intelligent, human Unity Party supporters. I'm referring to the rotten ones. And most of you who you claim to be educated, you claim to be literate, you claim to be average-minded, but you are still being used as fools. Somebody write on Facebook, and then you run with it. You believe it to be true without doing any validation. No counter-checking. Because they know vast majority of you Unity Party people, mentally, you people are dumb. So the few ones who are educated, they see you people as surrogates that they can use in this political culture. And nothing you can do to dwindle the morale of CDC, of George Weah. Nothing. You ain't able the political game. No. You ain't able it. Not at all. So you stop that. 4:30. Let me talk this last one and then we can go to you. Bouaka threatened to sack his commerce minister. President Joseph Yeman Bouaka Sr. has threatened to sack his commerce minister. He has given a bad report of his commerce minister and her deputies. He said they are underperforming. the Ministry of Commerce is not living the purpose for which it was enacted. He held his cabinet meeting today. In that cabinet meeting, the president said also there are too many complaints against the Ministry of Commerce and Industry from the public and business owners, business people. They're complaining too much, and the Ministry of Commerce is not living up to the task. Hence, the Minister of Commerce can be fired, sacked at any time. Rescue. Let me quote him word for word. He said, these are his words. I'm quoting him word for word. If you don't know the importance of that ministry, you have to know it now. Business people are complaining about that ministry. If you know you are not doing anything, we will remove you. A direct reference to Commerce Minister, his Commerce Minister, Madeline Dagose. Bouaka wants to dismiss her. Bouaka wants to take her from there. He's just looking for something. Anyway, everybody within the executive works at the will and pleasure of the president. So he does not need anything extra. He does not need to find any fault. He can wake up one morning and say, Madeline, move from there. I'll send this person there. Simple. But this is to tell you that nothing extra is happening. It's not a surprise. No. It is now the lid is dropping off the president's eye. It is now he trying to think as president, but he wasn't thinking as president in the past. You know why? Because everybody were doing their own thing. And let me give you one. They occupy themselves with this cliche, George, we are not coming back. George, we are not coming back. Do you know, have you listened to most of Bouaka ministers and deputy ministers? All of them, they clouded themselves. They preoccupied themselves. They gave themselves, or they turned this cliche into their project. We are not coming back. Joe, we are not coming back. He messed the country up. So much so that what they ought to do to deliver to the people, they can. That today, Bouaka had to tell the commerce minister that there is every possibility that she will be sacked because she and her deputies are doing nothing. The people are complaining against. He said there are too many complaints going to him about the Ministry of Commerce. The Ministry of Commerce is stifling the economy. Nothing extra is happening. That means, what you're simply saying, if you were, that he, one, is inept. Only an inept person appoints inept person. To say that nothing is happening by the Ministry of Commerce that regulates the commerce of the country. Meaning, the minister is inept. So the president is inept because he appointed inept person. So he should firstly take the blame. And not to say people complaining against the Ministry of Commerce. Because, listen, yesterday, meaning the CDC government, one of the dominant arguments that was in this country during the CDC administration, misplaced. Unity Party people argue. Oh, they want to happen. George Weah, the man know nothing. The man just appointing people. He's just sending people to any place. No, there's no specialty. I'm telling you, the majority of the Unity Party people, all of them, yeah. You put your radio on loud. Yeah, and see whether they will tell you Sam Andrews lying. Except I was not in this country and I'm in this country. I don't second guess. I say what I know, what I see, what what I heard, what I read, what I know. That was one of the dominant arguments in George Weah government from the opposition, that George Weah was appointing people to position that they ain't get no qualification for, that they ain't know anything of that place. Why you think Dillon and the rest of the people, and you hear Dillon confessing, he said that it was what they planned, that whoever George Weah sent there, they will make sure that that person did not pass, was not confirmed. And he confessed his own record. Yeah, nobody forcing them to confess. He started on confessing all over the place. So what am I saying by this? Madeline Dagosa is not the right person for that place. Yesterday, what's the woman, man? Hey, man, what the woman? He had this guy Winston Tappet there first. From there, he sent this lady. I just forgetting her name now. I will get it. I can't get it ready there. They say, oh, the woman, you know nothing, and she doing this one, she doing that one. The Ministry of Commerce did, and Joe, I just put that woman there because I his girlfriend. So he just taking money from the world. All kinds of things these Unity Party people were saying. So God said, no problem. George Weah is out. I will turn the atmosphere in a way, the same way you criticize my son George Weah and say because he put woman there for the woman to be giving him money, and the woman that he gave her, the same way I will make sure that Joseph Yuma Boaga send woman there, and a woman commerce minister. Now Joey, I ain't complaining. The commerce are running, but it was not 100%. It will be foolhardy sitting here to tell you that under George Weah administration, the commerce of the country was 100%. It wasn't 100%, but it was workable. Yeah, Joseph Yuma Boaga, rescue know it all, comes out to say the commerce minister, his commerce minister doing nothing. You know what it means when the boss say everybody, the people complaining about you, it means that you're not performing. The man say the public complaining, business people complaining, business owner complaining. The ministry is not living up to its responsibility. Meaning, the Minister of Commerce, Madeline Dagosa, President Boaga simply said in a press conference, she is inept. At least George Weah, hey, please help me with the woman name, man. The last commerce minister, I can't get it readily. No, not Jemama Wolokoli. The last one we are turned over. It is a disgrace for Madeline Dagosa. It is a disgrace. He's admitting that he appointed a woman that is inept. That is why you don't appoint simply because the person has a connection with you or political attachment. And not the same thing. They say, oh, we are just appointing people. You are appointing people not on specialty. See, Madeline Dagosa, disgrace. You know what I mean? The president come on and say, they come and sack you because you don't do anything. And yes, apart from the Ministry of Commerce, whose officials are on the verge of being sacked, take it according to our intelligence, some officials will be sacked between this weekend and next week from Unity Party government. Some officials. Yes, thank you. Israel has just given me the name. Thank you, Israel. Marwin Dix, thank you, Israel. Marwin Dix, yeah. They say, oh, that we are girlfriend. The woman, you know nothing. We are just taking small girls there and put them into BB ministry. So God said, no problem. But we did not look at that woman and say you are underperforming. She was not 100%, and nobody can be 100%. But the economy was workable. The commerce of the country was workable. Yeah, under the rescue government, know it all. Boaga tell the whole country and the whole world that Madeline Dagosa is inept. So in a president appointed in a commerce minister, because you have to be professional to accept the appoint professional person. Yeah, Marwin Diggs, Israel, thank you. Credit to you. Marwin Diggs. She was the last commerce minister. And Weah lost the election. He conceded. Between this week, according to our intelligence, between this weekend and next week, some Unity Party officials will be sacked. Plenty of people on the bench. Plenty of people on the bench. There is no law that says when you bring a regime to power, you will stay there forever and ever. And how they call him? How they call our man from ministry, man? And he gone. Well, women pay. Women pay fair. You are going to stay there until the first term over. Then they'll be fighting for the second time. You gone. Government job. Government job is not a guarantee. It's nothing perpetual. If you have a guarantee, that guarantee is you perform well. Moreover, if you can't conjugate the verb, forget it. I see you. I see you. I see you. Thanks for the patience. Let's go to the line. Yeah, that Marwin Diggs. Yeah. I find him, my way. Let's go. Lucia Lake say, what a shame. Yeah, I got that. I got that. Emmanuel bro. Israel just told me the name, Marwin Diggs. Roosevelt Crowman said Weah is not getting his brown envelope or his cut from that ministry. Emmanuel brought some of those Unity Party members and supporters are blatant liars, just like their political leader, Joseph Yeman Boakai. All of them can lie, sugar out of tea for their selfish satisfaction. Casapruco. That usually fago, eh? Matthew Choloplay, all right. Solomon George body is no longer CDC responsibility. It is Unity Party supporters' responsibility to take care. Rita Hard, Weah is a heartless man. He just did so. His government officials can sympathize with George family because he doesn't want to give money to that family. The former representative will be giving a state burial. He was a high-profile official of government. He will be giving a state burial legislatively. Roosevelt Crowman said, so Joseph Yeman Boakai never went. I think you want to say, yeah, he didn't go. Yeah, he didn't go there. The executive mansion statement say he extended by telephone. You go on the executive mansion website and you just go down a little. You'll see the statement is there. Philip Tukbat said, this American boy Boakai thinks he's an American Liberian. No wonder why the native people are suffering under his presidency. And Matthew Choloplay on the legislature, did I hear that these useless lawmakers are now asking for President Weah advice on issues confronting Liberia? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. You heard our director of news who was there to watch the ceremony. Victoria Ade, they never acknowledged President Weah. Why now? President Weah, don't go there. Tobasi, I don't think a former president should go to the legislature to educate the current lawmakers. Also, the act of former president's appearance could be seen as overshadowing Boakai's leadership. But he's not the president of the Senate, so he can. Victoria added, on the legislature, those people are wicked. President Weah should not go among them. It's a trap to rob their witchcraft medicine on him. And I beg you, man. I beg you. Ah. Emmanuel brought on that same issue. He said, this is a clear sign. We are recognizing, we're reorganizing, we are preparing. To our opponent, we see your failure and we are coming to fix it. Okay, direct quote from former President George Weah. All right. All right. So as your comments come on, we will read them, but the ones that are on to many. So just send them. I will read them in between the calls. So let's go. So the line, you want to cut your phone off before you call so that that sharp sound don't run in our ears. And you want to go straight to the point, please. 0772 23 99 33 0886 304497 0777, the women's line 980375. And before I want you to help us with Sunday, man. I've been trying to get that song. We fought hard, no way. Yeah, and I gave Israel hard time to get that song. He gave the name. They say Kojo Samuels, eh? Yeah, but when you go on the internet to get it, they just giving you all kind of American thing there. Yeah, they asking you too. You who asking them? Then they asking you. Yeah, time so hard, time so hard. Everybody going crazy. Y'all get that song, please. Y'all send it to me, man. I want it. I beg y'all. And y'all know that song? Y'all heard it before. Time so hard, time so hard. Everybody going crazy. Yeah. I'm fighting to see him. God, I'll give you that gift. That is where they're going to get a gift too. So let's go. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon, Semanju.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is the voice of Sabu Rasta saying I join you for point 4 of Zimbabwe. My brother, look at Pap. Pap getting ticket to say a black. Pado guys need to consider. But Mr. President, I consider you. You fail for us. We know that you are not going to do nothing, and that's why you are just admitting to what we've been saying over the years. And the second issue that Mr. Solomon George, Mr. Andrews, that's why our advocacy will continue to be consistent like a Northern Star. Those guys will never take us to be part of them. I'm just sorry for Solomon George. I don't know who did this to himself. You see how he's neglected? Those people will never take you to be part of them, Mr. Andrew, and you live with the people 100 years. You will never eat on the dining room table. They will always put you on the boys' quarter. You see what he's doing? He went to other people's places, but because they came to the swan dweller, he's been neglected. There's a message to all of us, Liberians, or most of us, especially we the indigenous. This is a clear message to us that these guys had drawn line between them and ourselves. They say they are more educated than us. That's why they were consolidated in fighting President Weah, because they felt he came from a strong community, he was not part of them, and he succeeded, and he used us to succeed. This is an education for all of us. Mr. Solomon George, so be wise, oh. You know, the party will use you and trap you that are cool. They don't.
Yeah, that's what they did to Nessie Dodo.
Thank you very much for always giving us the opportunity. Thank you.
Okay, Spencer Mohammed. Let's go to the women's line. Hello. Yes.
Because of the tsunami. Me friends are President. We are not that invitation. I will say you will not go there, please. You will not go to the
why invitation?
No, he says the one say even job President. If I President, we are trying to do to Marseille. So you will not go there. I want to tell my brother. I know your proportion is good, but you will not go there. Thank you.
But you don't want to get Weah to say you will not go there. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm Amos calling. I'm calling from Tuala. The old people girl saying that says when the old leaf is falling, is a warning to the young one. So I want to tell the people that left CDC, the that Joseph, that the same way they are doing. I call it that.
Hello. You went off. You went off. Hello.
Yeah, as I said, how many get President we are for? What vision that President we are not going?
That country, Sonny, if the legislature invite the man to give expert opinion, he will accept it. They're not enemies.
The regime speaker and people there.
The man, a former president, if they call him to share his expertise with the people to get the country forward, he will go there.
That too. But
ain't got nothing to do with what guy.
So as I said, when you equip you see how you mommy do, and when you mommy do, they dash down and they draw that the prime minister the government ambassador, they dash down to go up in the net. That
in the net you wear very well.
That in the net you live for here, everything we even know how to go. That she is ready. You know what I'm saying? You know how to go because the father and the dance. So thank you very much. Nobody will be used. Some of us about that. They will not use you. Please, they will not use you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Thank you very much for the show. My name is Abraham Yuma here. I call from Crystal City. Around the Habera. Yes, Andrew. Yeah, you are our leader. We respect you to share your views because we follow you for all the time. Most of the time we don't call. But I want to beg you to differ with a bit when you say there are different people in the United Party. My as a leader of the United Party, he says he's sponsor rebel blind the charity to give to humanitarian workers. And
so Unity Party don't have decent people?
No, that's why I was the pastors that are associated with it. You see how they behave in the country. The one that took over the LCC, the Broad Council of Churches, see how they behave in the country. Giving a word to Radio Cook of power in the constitution of this country. When Lufa, he told the person they must see when they were causing oil riot, they supported the state of water school. Marco General Prophet Key. Marcos Major and the Yaga Polma. So there's no different person in the United Party. All of them behave the same way. They brought war on this country and they destroy this country. They can lie all of them. They got out there. The powerful man said he was suspending. They now suspended him. So he's still working with only 2 positions. So there's no decent person among them. Even the local ones, when you deal with them, they will tell you we'll see election for you. Even when we will take it for you. So why is this saying there?
All right. Okay.
Hey, Andrew, there's no decent person among them. All of them can lie, they can see, they are wicked, they can scale. They will tell you we'll kill them.
All
So
right.
thank you very much for the show.
Hello.
Hello,
Yep.
I'm Jerry Carter.
Yeah, let's hear you, Jerry. Jerry, we're waiting for you. Oh.
They're waiting for me.
Oh. Jerry, you ready, yo? Hello?
Hello, my name is Fina, calling from the second.
Yeah, let's hear you, Fina.
Yes, man, yeah, they can go to me, that is very terrible. What kind of thing impacting a president then can't do this? That man can control, This, our president, they say, we are busy, to think about they coming 2029. Then that they are doing that, let it work. The thing they do. But coming can't do that. That's terrible. That we say for men. That man can control your spirit. So, president,
How you know that war?
my friend man are free. Yeah, my friend man are free. That man. Let the men are from India. Let Eddie, it's all right. But let the way the men, they say that man, the men, they say. That man is terrible.
All right, madam. All right, Fina. Hello.
Yeah, Mr. Andrew.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you very much for the show. Jefferson Silver calling from the Virginia Speaker District number 11. Waka was acting, he was sleeping, but now he got to know that the government is going down the drain. Waka will not fool us. He knew very well that the market share was flying, the economy was down. He decided to start the people, he must put the best person there. For us to know that his government has failed. Long time we've been telling him that he is not doing anything. He changed Minister of Finance to Judgment Day. In when they're doing it with personal grief, they will not get nothing. Thank you.
All right. Good. Let's go this way. Hello. Yeah, fine.
Yeah, I'm Christian calling from school. It's a question. When the people in that question, yeah, it's supposed to go there.
No.
So for me, I want to go out. I want to go out there. Because coming with them. I want to go inside the corner. I want to go out there. They didn't come with them. It's supposed to get experience. They didn't come with them. No. So for what the toilet now, you don't want to do. What I'm going to go for, let's see. Now, one day, they didn't come with them. Now, so you will go out. How long they want to take it? They didn't come with them. People get experience. Tell me what it's done.
Hello. Hello. Cut off your radio. Cut off your radio. Hello.
Afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Edward Carr, and I'm the teacher in prayer that is pushing for the return of President Weah 2029. You know, if you listen to Chairman Dia, it is understood that Annie was invited over there for a motive. And the motive is that they are having that their bill, they want to put it on the floor, they want to push it. So they are looking for something to hang on. They're looking for something to back them up. Because you just tell me, say, when we heard about invite, we were a little bit excited. Can you say she's going to be a lot of independence to flow? That there will be discussion on the floor and then there will be cross or questioning time. So that even some of the things that she will not touch, she will be able to answer them during the questioning time. She didn't go for confirmation. So what is here? You know? So if it was an open discussion, it could have meet our satisfaction, but that was not an open discussion. Such a character coming for inviting her to come for a particular lecturing time, or how did they call it? You should allow her to flow and let the other people on the other side ask us some questions so that we can be able to get some clarity, because she had made some statement around here in the past concerning the Methodist of Saka. Then later she talked about the other churches that were using their store in the community to despair, and the other comment that she made. So she needed to further explain herself. So probably some of the guys could have asked a question, and then she could have been able to explain herself. So seriously,
I think Emoka, I think she mentioned. I think she mentioned the church too. I think I heard her saying something like that. I think so.
Because it was rather for speaking for some of the people when she gave her position on the another traditional churches, this and that. So it's not because they are not the traditional churches that you don't have right here. So all of these stuff she needed to provide more clarity. Probably they were aware the question that going to come to her, so they decided to just follow her and just satisfy his desire as the regime speaker, like he invited her.
But ain't you listening to the judge?
Yeah.
You
listen to yeah.
I said the judge. The judge.
It's going to be primary plenary decision.
Emoka, wait, I asked you, I said that you listen to the judge.
The judge?
Yeah, judge. I said Shamon Dio, I said the judge. You listen to the judge?
No.
I'm supporting what you say. I'm in line with you. The judge. When you go to court, when the prosecuting team and the defense team finish with their argument, and you know what the judge can do? The judge can summarize the two legal teams' argument.
Okay.
That what Rachel Good did today.
Okay.
Everything that Ellie said, he summarized everything. So they were playing. That's something they already play.
Yeah. Now I also what you talk about. Yeah, exactly. That was happy. But quickly today, Minister, no, Joe Parker should not try to play with us yet. Joe Parker thinks he will shake blame this time around. No. During here, Ellen Johnson said the time, he shifted all the blame to her. But this one, it is he cannot shake blame. Look, if you feel that a particular minister is not performing, it's not for press conference, it's not for publicity. What you do, you reject the particular minister and see whether they will perform in another position. But the set here more than 2 years. Then you tell me, say, Minister of Commerce is not performing, so because of that, you will cycle down it. There is a motive. And yeah, it's a motive that I know. But before I get there, you will say because she's not performing, you need to be dismissed. Then the father minister need to be dismissed. No. Because he made you see, guys will all number. Even some of the statements that come from the father minister, he need to go. But yeah, what I know, what training in the water. There is some serious understanding that Matterly is making serious intervention in the Great Bastard County. And because of our intervention in Great Bastard County, Nyongli Kaka see threatening about her presence in Great Bastard County. So she has been picking forth on her, carrying news here and there, so as to bring her down. You can do your investigation, you will get it. This is the reason. Because I have not seen this happening, where a president will know that a particular minister is not performing, you go have press conference and bring them in the news. No, don't do that.
Yeah, you can.
The economy is tight.
Yeah.
Okay? So you don't hold Matterly responsible for this.
You can single out the person in cabinet meeting.
Guinea coming back into the country, but the Matterly was set there for the past 2 weeks now going to Guinea to come.
All right, Mr. Khan.
How many continue are coming to the port now these days? What do your
all right, Mr. Khan, let's get chance to the others.
Matterly, it should be on the.
Hello. Hello?
Yeah, good evening, Sam Andrews.
Yes, sir.
Philip Kamba from Upper Cowell. But Sam, Gizabaka is trying to paraphrase what you guys have been saying in the past. And let me be real. The JNB decision to even sack some ministers. There are some ministers they are untouchable. Like his little brother from Minister of Internal Affairs, that treating our traditional people in this nation as if they are not humans. He is untouchable. That one will be untouchable. Even his nephew that at the central bank, be untouchable. The reason that JB is trying to sack Madam Dagose is because of Nyamlikanga Lawrence. We know about it. Just because I monitor the radio station in Grand Bassa. The woman, she is doing well. She's carrying on some development. So, Nyamlikanga is feeling somehow disheartened because the people of Grand Bassa are trying to elect or vote for Madam Dakosa to become the next senator of that country. That's the reason you see Nyamlikanga is trying by all means persuading the president to sack Madam Dakosa. There are some ministers in this country that are doing things that even the minister that he may mention, the justice minister, we will say it. At least the one guy, maybe some of us they will call like the way they call a prophet. Those guys are corrupt. As the justice minister of this nation, he needs to give the president the rightful advice. But we are seeing some things that are going on that are hindering the masses when it comes to the demolition of structures. He's setting out water without doing nothing. If you say anything, that is threatening you, which is very wrong. Thank you so much for the program.
All right. Have a nice day. Let's take a few more, then we can get out of here. Let's go to the women's line. Hello.
Hello, Sam. Andrew, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Oh, madam, and you?
Yeah, fine. Yes, I'm Sata Kapsulu. I'm calling from Keita.
Let's hear you, Sata.
Yeah. Let it leave George Weah alone. Their fish that they frying, they shouldn't put him inside. Let it leave him alone. Let it leave his name alone because he's not bothering anybody. Let it leave George Weah. Thank you.
All right, Sata. Hello.
Fuck you, the party.
Hello. Oh. What can I make? You just called to say that. All right. So that thank you for spicing up the show. I appreciate all of you. So the former president, they talk about land grab. Land grab. Land grab means you're using everything available to you to get a land, to take a land. Land grab also means forceful seizure. The former president talked about it when they programmed her to go at the legislature to add weight to what they want to do, which they can do without her. Her appearance over there today was a mystery. However, she raised salient points. Everyone knows what has been happening and what is still happening in this country with land. Today, President Boakai issued executive order to have the land dispute between Nima. Let me be exact with that one, please. Let me be exact with that. The president issued executive order 160 to constitute technical committee on Nima Ganta land dispute. He issued the executive order today, 160. People are still going through the pain, the frustration. If ever was a time to stand up for your right, except it is not your right, meaning not your land, but if it is your land, stand up. Don't make anybody to feel, like Bernie Spears said, you are stupid. Don't make anybody to feel you are stupid. Martin Luther King said, you must always walk the streets of life with a sense of dignity and somebodyness. It also means stand up for who you are. Believe, trust your plan. Never, Bob Marley say, stand up for your right. Don't keep on sitting. Stand up. If you people continue, they will take all of your lands. This country is on the verge of being mortgaged. This country is on the verge, is about to be mortgaged. They gave you the impression of developing, but they're giving your land to people that in the next 3, 4, 5 years, you will have no space in your own country. Your country will be overrun by foreigners. And nobody you have to blame but your very people, your very government. If you can stand up for your right now, I do not know when you will stand up. Those who stood up and protected their lands on their rights, maintain their right to their land. They never sat. They stood up for their right and they maintain their land. Stand up. Get up. Fight for your right. Don't sit down. Don't be afraid, except it is not your legitimate property. They have never told those people to bring their deeds. They go to the archive, whatever the institution, drop some United States dollars there because people are vulnerable. People tremble when they see United States dollars. So they drop United States dollars there. They do the G thing quick. They move to the court. They drop 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 on the judge desk. The judge immediately takes the 5,000, put it in a packet, approve. The next thing, they go into the police. They show the document from the judge, signed by the judge, from the court. They gave whatever amount they can give to the police. They're ready to move with escort or to escort them with the bulldozer. That's how they've been taken. People land and they stay taking people land. Don't sit down. Don't keep sitting. Stand up for your right. Get up. Stand up for your right. Don't give up the fight. If you give up on the fight, you will lose. It's short info, very vital info. Greatest. You never ever underestimate His Excellency, former President George Weah. Just a piece of information and then we are out. Six scouts or agents who have come to Liberia to scout Liberian soccer talents. They said their mission will be incomplete without being in the presence of His Excellency, the former president, global icon, George Weah. The scouts or agents requested to meet the former president, the man with so enriching records of the game called The Beautiful Game. It was a lecture series, detailed to follow. But these are the scouts or agents. Dimitri Strava. He is the owner of DNS Agency in the United Kingdom, one of the leading sports agencies globally. Giovanni Goulot, OGC Needs, that's in France, scout of OGC. Nikola Vrasivic, Red Star Belgrade, that's Serbia. Sei Olufinjana, Chelsea Scott, United Kingdom. Moyasa, 30, FIFA agent, United Kingdom. Eban Jenini Ne, California, USA. Detail will follow. It was a lecture section. They said they could not leave Liberia without meeting the former president and football icon, George Weah. What does it? Thank you ever so much. But before we go, man, let's say congratulations to one of the brightest, very sharp Liberian university student coming out of the College of Natural and Applied Sciences, United Methodist University, Rachel C. Roberts of Batnottsville, Quebec. She is majoring or major in biology and minor chemistry. She is a scientist, a medical doctor, not just anybody going into this area. You must be prepared and you must have the brain. Only numbers you are playing with. Less words, theory, more numbers. Not anybody or everybody can go in this area yet. So we are so excited. She's the daughter of one of us, Charles Choppy Roberts, Kings 88.5. His daughter will be walking out of the walls of United Methodist University on March 31st, College of Natural and Applied Sciences. We say congratulations to you, Rachel C. Roberts of Batnottsville, Quebec. The woman is already a scientist, a medical doctor, and her father said that's what she wants to be, a surgeon. A surgeon. Say from childhood, she had destined herself to be a surgeon. Yet it is possible. Anything that you envision, anything that you plan, you can be that person. That's what the future is. The only thing you need to do is to strive, work against all odds, fend off the distraction, and you will achieve it. Yes, that's it. Her father said she wants to be a surgeon. And that's the path to becoming a surgeon. Not any or everybody can go in that area. Most of the guys, no disrespect, please, I beg you. But most of the ladies, the men, boys, they run to business college. Business college, only few, you know what I mean, to get in the natural sciences, you have to have brain. You have to have brain. Like Martin Luther King said, you got to burn the midnight oil. 24/7 you're studying. Night, your feet in the water, you're studying. So congratulations, Rachel C. Roberts, Batnottsville, Quebec. That will be March 31st. Moving from the College of Natural and Applied Sciences, United Methodist University. Your father, Charles Roberts, and your siblings, as well as every other person or people wanted for you, as well as your aunts and uncles. Yeah, at Kings 88.5. This is how we go home. The news is on at 6 o'clock. Join us for that, please. And then at 8 o'clock, as usual, you know, so need not do extra presenters mention, but the protocol demands the doctor himself is in at 8 o'clock. The teacher of the land, the light of the nation, the evangelist, the Anthony at law, A.B. Weah, with Face the Issues. Until tomorrow, this is how we go home.
They broke down our headquarters, but it didn't break our soul. CDC stands stronger. We are ready, we are bold. From West Point to Point 4, from New Crew Town to Congo, all are welcome here. Together we will grow.